When people talk about the things that attract an avoidant person, many assume it comes down to physical appearance, confidence, or constantly showing interest. But the truth goes much deeper than that. Avoidant individuals are not usually pulled in by surface-level attraction or someone trying too hard to win their attention. In many cases, excessive pursuit can make them feel pressured or create a sense that they are losing their freedom. What truly captures their attention are deeper, psychological experiences that connect with their hidden emotions, fears, and unmet needs. These are the subtle triggers that can soften their defenses and create a desire for closeness. In this video, we will explore the psychological qualities that can break through those emotional barriers and create a connection they find difficult to ignore. The first powerful attraction trigger is emotional independence. For an avoidant person, one of the most appealing qualities is someone who can stand firmly on their own. They are often afraid of feeling trapped, overwhelmed, or responsible for another person's entire emotional world. So, when they meet someone who has their own goals, interests, friendships, and inner stability, it creates a completely different experience for them. Instead of feeling pressure, they feel relief. This type of independence does not mean being detached, uncaring, or emotionally unavailable. It is a balanced energy that communicates, "I choose you, but I am still whole without you." That message feels safe to an avoidant because it shows them that love does not have to mean losing their identity. They begin to understand that a relationship can bring closeness without taking away their personal freedom. The second psychological attraction trigger is a sense of mystery and healthy unpredictability. Avoidant people often spend a lot of time analyzing relationships, thinking about emotional risks, and trying to control how close they allow someone to get. When another person becomes completely predictable, constantly available, and always focused on them, it can unintentionally activate their desire to create distance. But when someone has depth, confidence, and a life that continues beyond the relationship, it creates curiosity. A person who is not always waiting, chasing, or revealing everything immediately becomes more fascinating. This does not mean playing games or pretending to be unavailable. It means having your own world, your own experiences, and your own emotional rhythm. When an avoidant cannot easily figure you out, when they sense there is more beneath the surface, their mind naturally becomes more engaged. They start wondering about you, thinking about you, and feeling drawn toward discovering more. That feeling of curiosity, where they want to understand you but cannot completely predict you, creates a powerful psychological pull. It keeps their mind engaged because there is always something new to discover. The third quality that deeply attracts an avoidant person is calm confidence during difficult moments. Avoidants often feel overwhelmed by emotional intensity, so when conflict appears, they may expect arguments, emotional outbursts, or pressure to fix things immediately. But when they encounter someone who remains peaceful, patient, and emotionally controlled, it creates a completely different reaction. They notice that you do not fall apart when they create distance, you do not chase desperately, and you do not lose yourself during disagreements. That emotional stability feels incredibly safe to them. It shows them that being close to you does not mean entering a world of chaos. Your calm presence becomes a place where they can finally relax, lower their defenses, and feel accepted without fear. The fourth psychological attraction trigger is having clear and healthy boundaries. Many people believe that always agreeing, constantly sacrificing, and giving someone whatever they want will make them feel more loved. However, with avoidant individuals, this can often create the opposite effect. When someone completely ignores their own needs to please them, an avoidant may sense pressure or feel like the relationship lacks balance. What creates attraction is a person who knows their worth and can communicate their limits with both confidence and kindness. Boundaries show an avoidant that you respect yourself, that you have your own identity, and that your love does not come from fear of losing them. It communicates that you can care deeply while still standing firmly on your own. This strength creates admiration because they begin to see you as someone who is emotionally secure, not someone they have to constantly manage or protect from disappointment. The fifth powerful attraction trigger is remaining emotionally balanced when an avoidant creates distance. This is one of the most important things to understand. Many avoidant individuals create space when emotions become intense, not always because they do not care, but because distance feels like a way to regain control and protect themselves. Sometimes, without even realizing it, they observe how their partner responds when they step back. If the response is panic, constant messages, or attempts to force closeness, it can reinforce their belief that intimacy leads to pressure. But when you continue living your life, stay kind, and remain emotionally steady without becoming dependent on their attention, something changes. They begin to experience you differently. Your energy tells them that love with you is not a cage. It is a choice. Your ability to remain grounded even when they are absent creates a powerful sense of respect and attraction because it shows emotional strength. The sixth psychological quality that can strongly attract an avoidant person is intellectual connection. Many avoidant individuals spend a significant amount of time thinking, analyzing, and processing emotions internally. They often approach feelings through logic before allowing themselves to experience vulnerability. Because of this, someone who can engage their mind can become extremely appealing. A partner who brings thoughtful conversations, unique ideas, new perspectives, and meaningful discussions creates a connection that feels both exciting and comfortable. Intellectual attraction gives an avoidant a pathway toward closeness without making them feel emotionally cornered too quickly. They can explore your thoughts, share ideas, and build trust naturally. Over time, these deep conversations create emotional safety and make vulnerability feel less threatening. For an avoidant person, someone who can challenge their mind while also respecting their emotional pace can become incredibly difficult to resist because the connection feels deep without feeling overwhelming. The seventh psychological attraction trigger is self-respect and being intentionally available, not constantly accessible. Avoidant individuals are often naturally drawn toward people who have their own standards and who cannot be easily taken for granted. When someone is always waiting, always changing their plans, or making the relationship the center of their entire world, it can remove the sense of value and individuality that creates attraction. But when you protect your time, honor your priorities, and allow someone to experience your presence as something meaningful rather than guaranteed, it creates a different kind of energy. This is not about pretending to be unavailable or creating unnecessary distance. It is about having a fulfilling life that someone feels grateful to be part of. Avoidants often become more interested when they recognize that your attention is valuable because you are not giving it from a place of emptiness, but from genuine choice. The eighth psychological attraction trigger is emotional vulnerability without emotional pressure. Many avoidant people struggle with vulnerability because opening up can feel like giving away control or becoming exposed. However, when someone demonstrates a healthy form of emotional openness, it can completely change their perception of intimacy. Sharing your feelings honestly, while still taking responsibility for your own emotions, creates a safe environment. It shows them that vulnerability does not have to involve drama, demands, or the expectation that they must immediately fix everything. Instead, it can simply be a way of building trust and creating a deeper connection. When an avoidant sees that you can express yourself while remaining emotionally stable, their defenses begin to soften. They start understanding that closeness does not always lead to pressure. It can also create comfort, acceptance, and a bond where both people feel safe enough to reveal more of themselves. The ninth quality that deeply attracts an avoidant person is playfulness and emotional lightness. Many avoidants carry hidden anxiety around relationships because they associate closeness with expectations, responsibility, and emotional intensity. They may constantly prepare themselves for conflict or fear that love will eventually become overwhelming. But when someone brings humor, fun, and a relaxed energy into their life, it changes the entire experience of connection. Suddenly, being close does not feel like a heavy responsibility. It feels enjoyable. Simple moments of laughter, playful conversations, and shared experiences can create a bond without triggering their defenses. This kind of emotional atmosphere can feel rare to an avoidant because it allows them to experience love without constantly feeling pressured. When they realize that you are someone who brings peace, joy, and ease into their world, they begin associating you with comfort rather than fear. That positive emotional experience can become something they deeply value and remember. The 10th and final psychological attraction trigger is your ability to walk away while maintaining your dignity. Although it may seem surprising, this quality often creates a powerful impact on an avoidant person. Many avoidants do not fully recognize the value of a connection until they understand that it is not something they can assume will always be available. If they believe someone will remain no matter how much distance they create or how little effort they give, they may never feel motivated to change. But when they see that you have enough self-respect to leave situations that no longer honor you, it creates awareness. They recognize that your love is genuine, but it is not dependent on losing yourself. That balance can awaken a fear of losing someone truly valuable, not because you are trying to manipulate them, but because they finally understand that they have found someone who loves deeply while still protecting their own worth. When you look at all of these psychological attraction triggers together, they share one powerful message. They change the entire emotional dynamic. Instead of reinforcing an avoidant person's fear of being controlled, overwhelmed, or losing their independence, these qualities create feelings of safety, respect, and admiration. They show that a relationship can be a place of freedom rather than restriction. They prove that love does not have to mean sacrificing yourself or becoming responsible for another person's emotional world. When an avoidant experiences this type of connection, something begins to shift internally. Their defenses slowly weaken, their fear begins to decrease, and their desire for closeness can grow stronger. They start realizing that being with someone like you does not mean losing who they are. It means finally experiencing a connection where they can be fully themselves while still feeling deeply loved. When we talk about psychological attraction triggers in avoidant relationships, it is important to understand that these ideas are not about manipulating someone or trying to control their emotions. They are about understanding the emotional patterns, fears, and needs that often influence how people connect with others. Avoidant individuals usually develop certain protective behaviors because closeness can sometimes feel overwhelming or threatening to their sense of independence. Because of this, the qualities that create attraction are often the ones that communicate safety, balance, and emotional maturity. Emotional independence is one of the strongest concepts in this dynamic. It means being able to love someone deeply while still maintaining your own identity, happiness, and emotional stability. A person with emotional independence does not look to their partner as the only source of confidence, security, or fulfillment. They have their own interests, goals, friendships, and personal growth. For someone with avoidant tendencies, this can feel refreshing because it removes the fear of being responsible for another person's entire emotional world. They can experience closeness without feeling like they are losing their freedom. Mystery and unpredictability are not about hiding things, creating jealousy, or playing emotional games. They are about having depth and individuality. When someone has their own experiences, opinions, passions, and personal growth, they naturally become more interesting because there is always something new to discover. Avoidant individuals often spend a lot of time analyzing situations, so a person who cannot be easily predicted can create curiosity and emotional engagement. The attraction comes from discovering someone who has a complete world of their own, rather than someone who revolves entirely around the relationship. Calm confidence during conflict is another important quality because emotional safety plays a major role in connection. Many people with avoidant patterns become uncomfortable when emotions become intense because they associate conflict with pressure, criticism, or emotional chaos. Someone who can communicate calmly, express their feelings clearly, and handle difficult moments without losing control creates a different experience. This does not mean ignoring emotions or pretending nothing hurts. It means being able to stay connected to yourself while working through challenges. That emotional steadiness shows that disagreements do not have to destroy the relationship. Strong boundaries are also a major part of healthy attraction. Boundaries are not walls that keep people away. They are clear statements about what you value, what you accept, and how you expect to be treated. A person with healthy boundaries can say yes with love and no with confidence. For avoidant individuals, seeing someone who respects themselves can create admiration because it shows emotional strength. It communicates that the relationship is a choice between two complete individuals, not a situation where one person loses themselves to keep the other. Being emotionally grounded when someone creates distance refers to maintaining your inner stability instead of reacting from fear. In avoidant dynamics, one person may move closer while the other pulls away because intimacy activates their protective instincts. A grounded person does not immediately assume rejection or chase for reassurance. They remain caring but continue focusing on their own life. This creates a healthier emotional environment because the relationship is not built around fear, panic, or constant reassurance. It shows that connection can exist without pressure. Intellectual stimulation refers to the attraction that comes from the mind rather than only emotions or physical chemistry. Many avoidant individuals are highly reflective and spend a lot of time thinking, analyzing, and processing internally. Someone who can have meaningful conversations, introduce new perspectives, and challenge their thinking can create a strong connection. These conversations often become a bridge toward emotional intimacy because the person feels understood and engaged without feeling forced to reveal everything immediately. Self-respect and selective availability are connected to knowing your own value. Selective availability does not mean ignoring someone or acting uninterested. It means you have a life that continues whether someone is present or not. Your time, energy, and attention have meaning because you choose where to invest them. This creates a healthier dynamic because love comes from desire rather than emotional dependence. People often appreciate something more when they understand that it is valuable and not guaranteed. Emotional vulnerability without pressure is the ability to open your heart while still maintaining emotional responsibility. Healthy vulnerability sounds like expressing your feelings honestly without making another person responsible for your happiness. It allows someone to see the real you while also giving them space to be themselves. For an avoidant person, this can challenge the belief that emotional closeness always comes with demands or loss of freedom. Playfulness and lightness create emotional comfort. Relationships can sometimes become focused only on problems, expectations, and serious conversations, which may increase anxiety for someone who already fears emotional pressure. Humor, fun experiences, teasing, and moments of joy remind both people that connection can also feel peaceful and enjoyable. It creates positive memories that make closeness feel safe instead of overwhelming. Walking away with dignity represents self-worth and emotional strength. It does not mean leaving to punish someone or trying to create fear. It means understanding that love should not require you to abandon yourself. When someone knows they can survive without a relationship but still chooses to be in it, that choice becomes more powerful. It shows that the connection exists because both people add value to each other's lives, not because one person cannot function without the other. At the core of all these ideas is emotional security. The biggest shift happens when a person stops approaching love from fear and starts approaching it from confidence. Instead of chasing, controlling, or trying to convince someone to stay, they create an environment where both people can choose each other freely. For an avoidant person, this kind of connection can feel different from what they have experienced before because it combines closeness with independence. It shows them that love does not have to mean losing themselves. It can become a place where they feel accepted, respected, and safe. When we understand the deeper psychology behind avoidant attraction, we begin to see that it is not about trying to chase someone, convince them, or force them to open their heart. True connection is created when two people can come together without either person feeling like they are losing themselves. The qualities that create the strongest impact are not desperation, constant attention, or trying to prove your worth. They are emotional balance, confidence, self-awareness, and the ability to love while still maintaining your own identity. An avoidant person often spends years protecting themselves from the fear of being controlled, overwhelmed, or emotionally dependent. But when they meet someone who brings both warmth and stability, their perception of love begins to change. The biggest shift happens when an avoidant realizes that closeness does not have to mean losing freedom. Many avoidant individuals have learned to associate relationships with pressure, expectations, or emotional responsibility. They may believe that keeping distance is the only way to protect their peace. But when they experience a connection with someone who respects their space while still offering genuine care, something different begins to happen. They start discovering that intimacy can actually feel safe. They do not have to run from someone who understands them. They do not have to constantly defend themselves. Instead, they can slowly relax and experience the comfort of being accepted without feeling trapped. The most powerful attraction comes from becoming someone who is emotionally whole. A person who knows their value does not need to chase attention because they already understand their own worth. They can show love without begging for love in return. They can communicate their feelings without losing control of their emotions. They can give someone space without feeling abandoned. This type of emotional strength creates a completely different energy in a relationship. It tells the other person, I care about you, but I also care about myself. That balance is what creates genuine respect and long-term attraction. Avoidant individuals are often not looking for someone perfect. They are looking for someone who feels safe, someone who does not create emotional chaos, someone who can understand their fears without allowing those fears to control the relationship. This does not mean accepting unhealthy behavior or ignoring your own needs. It means creating a dynamic where both people are responsible for their own emotional growth. A healthy relationship is not built on one person saving another. It is built on two people choosing to grow together while still remaining individuals. The reason these psychological qualities are so powerful is because they challenge the avoidant's deepest beliefs about love. They show them that connection does not always lead to pain, pressure, or loss of independence. They introduce a new experience where love can feel peaceful instead of overwhelming. Over time, this can create a sense of trust that they may not have experienced before. When trust grows, the walls that once protected them can slowly become unnecessary. They begin to understand that vulnerability is not weakness. It is actually the foundation of a deeper connection. The most important lesson is that these qualities should never be developed only to attract an avoidant person. They are valuable because they create a healthier version of yourself. Emotional independence, boundaries, confidence, and self-respect are not strategies to make someone chase you. They are signs of emotional maturity. When you build these qualities within yourself, you naturally attract relationships that are based on mutual respect rather than fear and insecurity. An avoidant person may be drawn to your confidence, your calmness, and your independence, but the deeper transformation happens when both people begin showing up from a place of security. Love becomes less about holding on tightly and more about choosing each other freely. It becomes less about fear of losing someone and more about appreciation for having someone meaningful in your life. In the end, the strongest connection is not created by chasing someone's attention or trying to break through their defenses. It is created when you become someone who brings peace, stability, and authenticity into a relationship. When an avoidant experiences a person who can love deeply without losing themselves, it creates a powerful realization. They see that love does not have to be a threat, it can be a safe place. It can be a partnership where two people support each other, respect each other, and continue growing together. And that is when the walls begin to fall, not because they were forced down, but because they are no longer needed.